Welcome back. All right, so in my year-by-year look at the National Hockey League, I'm also going to be accompanying those year-by-year videos, looking back at some careers along the way. And we're going to talk about Denneny today, a player who was part of that initial National Hockey League opening season. And coming over in 1917 with the Ottawa Senators, honestly, I had to feel pretty much the same as the NHA. The only thing that changes is a letter. But the nicknames for Denneny are interesting because players had a lot of nicknames back in the day. The Silver Bullet, Cyclone Cy. So this is before you just take the first syllable of their last name and add a Y to it and go, there's your nickname. It's not very creative. I've never been a fan of that way that hockey players throw out nicknames. I understand why they do it, but these are fun nicknames. Although I don't think Cyclone Cy would work now. I think if you tried that now, I think somebody would go, it's a little lazy. It's a little lazy, a little obvious. But he was an aggressive forward, he was a fast forward, and he was arguably one of the NHL's best early superstars. The first year, of course, with Ottawa, and yeah, I only had 10 of the O logos. I looked for an 11th, I looked all over, had to use one of the other Senators logos, so yeah, I'm not happy about it either. But that first year with Ottawa in the National Hockey League, 21 games, 36 goals. That's insane. Absolutely insane. That's second in the NHL. Also kind of insane. His 10 assists was first overall in the National Hockey League that year. His 46 points were second. Then 1918-1919 plays 18 games, 18 goals, so a goal per game. He was fourth in the NHL in goals that year. His 6 assists was fifth overall in the NHL, and his 24 points was fourth overall. In the playoffs, 5 games, 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 points. 1919-1920, 24 games, 16 goals, 6 assists, 22 points. Again, all he does is score goals. He's a fantastic goal producer. And 1920-21, 24 games. His 34 goals was second overall in the NHL. 7 assists, 41 points, which is second overall in the National Hockey League that year. In the playoffs, he just plays 2 games, has 2 goals, and wins the Stanley Cup. See, it's easy. Just go out there, you play a couple games, you win the Stanley Cup. Like it's hard. 1921-22, 22 games, 28 goals, which is third overall. His 12 assists was fourth overall. His 40 points was second overall. So he's not leading, but he's right near the top. In the playoffs again, 2 goals in 2 games. Consistency. 1922-23, 24 games, 21 goals, which is third overall. 12 assists, which is also third overall, and his 33 points is second overall. In the playoffs, 2 goals in 2 games. Then 1923-24, and again, the consistency. 22 games, 22 goals is first overall in the NHL that year, just 2 assists. 24 points was also first. To this day, that is the lowest point production needed to finish first overall in the NHL in scoring. 2 goals in 2 games in the playoffs yet again. So 8 games in the playoffs over 4 years. 8 goals and 2 Stanley Cups. Makes it look easy. 1924-25 plays 29 games, 27 goals, which is third overall. His 14 assists, third overall. And his 41 points is also third overall. There you go. So overall run going pretty well. No playoffs to speak of that year, but 1925-26, 36 games played. As the schedule starts to get a little more involved, a little bit longer, right? 24 goals, which is fourth overall. His 12 assists, second in the National Hockey League that year. His 36 points, so a point per game, he's second overall that year. In the playoffs, he plays 2 games, does not record a point. 1926-27, 42 games played that year. So again, the league's getting a little bigger, schedule's getting a little longer. 17 goals is 7th overall. He had 6 assists and 23 points. He's not top 10 in those categories. In the playoffs, he records 5 goals in 6 games and gets his 3rd Stanley Cup. So nice run there for him. Then 1927-28, the offense is gone. It is remarkably gone. 3 goals in 44 games. That's it. Yeah, that offense was just, it was done. No points in 2 playoff games. And October 25th of 1928, Ottawa trades him to Boston for cash. Yeah. So I talked about future considerations in a video earlier today. There's a trade for cash. You don't see that anymore. Not technically, but yeah, those used to happen. Those happened right up until the 80s, to be honest. Chris Draper was had for $1. 1928-29, the Boston Bruins bring him in. He was also an assistant coach that year for the Bruins. 23 games, just 1 goal, 2 assists, 3 points. So again, the offense is gone. He plays 2 playoff games, gets his 4th Stanley Cup. Not too shabby. At the time he retires, 329 games played, 247 goals, which was the all-time leader in that category when he retired, 89 assists, 336 points, also an all-time leader there. In the playoffs, 25 games, 16 goals, 2 assists, 18 points. He did play for Toronto in the NHA from 1914 through 1916. Then he didn't report to camp, so they traded him to Ottawa, where he played that 1 year from 16 to 17 in the NHA before it became the NHL. And in 1917-18, so that first NHL season, he had 4 straight multi-goal games at the start of the season. That's a record that stood until it was tied in 2013-2014 by Patrick Marleau of the San Jose Sharks. He was elected to the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1959. I'll throw in here, too, the Hockey Hall of Fame does not have an affiliation with the National Hockey League. People do mix that up a lot, so I thought I'd throw that in here. He was not... The Hall of Fame was not related to the National Hockey League then. It's not now either. So again, he was an assistant coach during his year in Boston. He would coach a little bit at the NHL level after his career was done as well. His 200th goal came in his 181st game. To this date, still stands as a National Hockey League record. He was one of the first NHLers to try curving his stick using hot water. He used hot water to try to curve his stick, and this is in the 1920s. And again, retires as an all-time leader, ends up being in the Hall of Fame, and now he's got a career video done for him on this channel. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.